Sad but true, they say if you want to keep something from a people, well, you can hide it in a book. Hey, I'm Joshua Teach Us. Today we're talking about history hidden in plain sight, and I want to tell you about one of my favorite books to read throughout the year. I do a lot of books on self-development, personal development, improvement, and that sort of thing, but this is a go-to when we talk about history. I incorporate it into my job as a professor. I incorporate it into my role as a mentor, and I incorporate it into all of the Teach Us stuff I do. You see the book, Life Upon These Shores. It was written by Henry Louis Gates Jr. Amazing book, you see, from the 1500s all the way up to 2008. It gives you the history of pretty much anything you can think about, the origins of people who were here, the unique stories, villages, communities, entrepreneurs, political leaders, anything you can imagine you might want to know about history and life upon these shores, you'll find it in this book. But one of the things I like about Henry Louis Gates Jr. is this. He also does so much more. You've probably seen him on the television talking about finding your roots, and all of that is great for sure. But there's one episode that stands out. He did a work, I believe it was PBS, you can Google it, you can search it, where we went to places like Dominican Republic and Peru and Brazil and all over, Central America and the Caribbean, different places. But one of the ones he did was in Mexico. And he talked about part of that episode of the full one was called like Grandma in the Closet. And what it did was took a deep dive into Mexico and the culture and what took place there with respect to when they were ruled by the Spanish. And as you think about the United States of America, we have about, one or two different ways to classify society, right? Black or white, it's just kind of like basic. Maybe a little mulatto, terminology such as that in the past, but back then they had 8, 12, depending on the region, sometimes 14 different classifications of individuals who had blood mixed with Spanish and or African. And I found that very interesting. And that was when I first learned about, in fact, on that episode, Veracruz, Mexico, and that first free black settlement with Jasper Young and him fighting for that independence way back then. And so what it essentially did was told the story about that caste system and how it really was frowned upon to be dark-skinned. And so you see that take place not only in Mexico, but around the world. But today, as we talk about history hidden in plain sight, I want to share this go-to book that I like to read and use for my research. And I will ask you to do the same. If there's a book that you recommend I read, please drop it in the comments. Hey, I'm Joshua Teach Us. Today we talk about history hidden in plain sight. And they say if you want to hide something from somebody, put it in the book. Don't let it be hidden from you. It's often hidden in plain sight anyway, but sometimes you do have to pull back the cover of the book to get to it. Have an amazing day.